All right, Dean Habeeb. Let's start off, Dean, with your full real name. Why don't you start off with that?
Okay, so full legal name is actually Salahuddin Abdul Wali Abdul Hafiz Ibn Hamim Habib.
There you go.
Yeah,
So good luck to
50
everybody
letters
reading that.
long. Yeah, yeah.
One more time, slowly.
Slowly. Okay, ready? Salahuddin Abdul Wali Abdul Hafiz Ibn Hamim Habib. Yeah.
Known to us as Dean.
Just call me Dean.
There we go.
Just call me Dean.
All
Yeah.
right, Dean. Well,
yeah.
According to my clock, in approximately 2 weeks, you're going to be a married man to Miss Victoria.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And so you're going to be getting married in Mexico. So 2 weeks plus 2 days, you'll be, so you're still just a bachelor. And so we're having kind of our last bachelor call of Dean Habeeb right now.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It's exciting. Unfortunately, I'm already married by the law, the court in Texas. So we're already locked and loaded. It's just the church wedding that's going to happen here in Mexico to make it official. But yeah, the law already says we're married.
I see. Does her family know this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They know. They were there.
Because this video is going to go live after. I don't know if we need to bring it down. Okay, so that's cool. I mean, how you feeling? I mean, I remember myself. I mean, you're a pretty young guy. You're only, tell me if you're 26 years old.
27.
27.
27. Yeah. I'm feeling very good, man. It's I don't know if you're married, I'm sure you know the feeling. It's like a crazy kind of feeling you're getting up leading up to this. I'm thinking about every experience of my life, my childhood, just growing up, my parents, all this stuff. And it's crazy to just look back on your own growth to get to this point, to look at somebody in the eye and say, hey, I want to be with you forever and build this life. So it's exciting, man. I'm energized by this time and by what's about to happen. So
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, Dean. So looking forward to that. So we thought we'd get you on this call again while you're a bachelor, because next time you'll be on a call, you'll be showing a little bling thing, in your hand. But it's fair to say you're on fire. I mean, you're doing really well. I mean, the other day I logged in, saw, Dean got a $28,000 wire. Right before that was 19 grand. Right before that was 19 grand. So doing well. Soon to be a promoting owner. I mean, let's call it for what it is. You're still a rookie, but I think we all want rookie owners doing as well as you. And I was asking you what's working for you, and without batting an eye, you gave me your big three. Like, what's working for you. You know your business really well. So that's what we want you to share here with us today.
Yeah, for sure. And it's I appreciated you asking me to get on here, man. Like Carmen said last week, there's a bunch of studs on here, dude. And I just steal the stuff that I hear from them and implement it in my business. So that all this stuff you've heard before, I'm sure. But the first thing that really works for me, and it'll work for you as well, is just the culture that you build in your company, right? And the first things first is that it starts with you. I've always believed that, whatever energy you're bringing to your team is the energy that they're going to have. And so, I always ask myself a question every morning is how do I show up on fire for my team? How do I show up energized as can be? What am I doing to get myself, to the point and to the mindset and for the mood that my team needs me to be in, And so that for me, it starts with my routines, my daily disciplines, my habits. You talk about, I'm always in the gym every morning, 5:45, I wake up and I go to the gym and I write my 3 things I'm grateful for. It's the first thing I do. It's right by my bedside. And then, I get up, I put my gym clothes on, I hit the gym. I come back, I'll get my 10, 15 minutes of reading in or whatnot. And that just sets me up and gets me into the mode of all right, let's go attack my day. Let's get ready to, be ready be the person that my team needs me to be. Right. And so I think it all starts with you in terms of building that culture that you want. And then honestly, it's also driving your own ambition, talking your big goals with your team and with your crew. I'm always constantly talking about, the goals that I want to hit. And, then I'm also talking to them about the goals that I have hit. I've been talking big game since I was a freaking rep, knocking on people's door that like, I'm going to run a badass business. We're going to be, top 5, top 10 in the rankings. We're going to promote people. I've been carrying around in my wallet since 2017. I started under 2018. I started in the business in 2017. And so my wallet's my gold card. And it says, I'm so grateful that I'm a successful promoting business owner. I have the financial ability to take care of the friends and family that take care of me. And I help people achieve their goals while also achieving my own each and every day. I got that written down and I've had it there since 2018. Now, it hasn't come true to fruition yet, but we're on the way. We're well on the way. And I remember when I was a rep, I was talking about doing these things that we're going to do and about getting married, like having these awesome goals, like, and so when I talk that big game, it kind of rubs off onto my team. Like they talk the big game, they talk about what they want to do and what they want to accomplish. And so it really all starts with you in terms of the culture that you want to build, very, very, very important there. Another thing that I really, take note of in terms of building the culture is just like the energy and pulse management of your team and of your crew, right? Like, if you haven't read The Energy Bus, you need to read it by John Gordon. I mean, easy read, super fun, and it's like it's pretty simple. Like, protect your energy in your company. Like, I need to get the right people on the bus, and I need to get the wrong people off of it. I'm consistently auditing. Do we have the right personnel on our crew? Do we have the right team members? And if we don't, what am I doing to rectify or right the ship? So super, super important is like that idea of getting the right people on the bus and the wrong people off of it. Admittedly, the past couple of weeks, my team hasn't been doing as well as they can. I haven't been performing to the level that they can. It's because I had a couple knuckleheads that are on my crew that I had to get rid of. And sure enough, as soon as you remove my production's up, my team's doing back to what they're capable of. And so just that energy and pulse management. And then when you're in your office and atmosphere, knowing what your team needs, like, are you running competitions? Are you consistently like, are you bringing the energy? What's the energy like in the office? If you see somebody in the office that's kind of got, shitty energy, are you grabbing them and saying, hey, what's up? Like, let's get the energy up, And so I'm all over that, like on a regular basis. Right. And then, this is like number 2, but it also goes within the culture is the standards that are in place, right? Like we're talking about this all the time. I really worked with Lenseye a few months ago on this, right? Because Lenseye has been fucking crushing it on the AT&T EDM campaign. And so like I'm listening to what this guy's saying, I'm taking notes, and I started to call him up. I'm like, dude, like you talk about these high standards. How are you rolling these out? How are you implementing these? And so it just raised the level and the standard that we have within our team. And we're constantly talking about it. We're constantly talking about what is the standard to work here? What is the standards to get an opportunity to interview? What are the standards to be in the alpha meeting? And so, by constantly talking about that and constantly, inspecting what we expect, I think that really drives the culture too, because people, they start with us and they see a culture of high performers, and so they want to fit in, and so they're going to do that as well. And so that standards piece, super, super important for us. Constantly talking about it. We've upped it 2 times over the past like 6 months. So like improving the standard, because what we expect is what we're going to get, right? And so super, super important there. But that's kind of that first piece around just culture is, it starts with you. Are you doing the things to show up on fire on a consistent basis for your team? Or what are your routines? What are your habits like to put you in that mood, right? And then, do you have the right personnel, the right people in the right seats? I'm reading this book. I just finished up What the Heck is EOS? Awesome freaking book too. The right people in the right seat as well. So that's the first kind of piece that really works for me, is that culture. And then the number two or number three, you can call it, right, is, really my game planning and it's called What the Heck is EOS? What the Heck is EOS? Yeah. Real good book. And the number two or number three is my game planning and my strategizing for my team. And this is on a weekly and a daily basis. I do a couple weekly game plans. So I send out one game plan to my team every week. Every Saturday morning, I send it out to my team. It's got the schedule for the week. It's got, high performers from the week before. It's got, so what this does is clear communication to my team on, hey, what's going on the next week? Like, what do we got going on? What's what? Goals for the upcoming week, highlighting those top performers. And so it's just a easy, clean, simple game plan I send out to my team, right? So that's the first one I do. And then the second one I do is a weekly game plan and focus, for myself, and that I send out to all my council of coaches, And so this is where I just brain dump. I really take a look at numbers from previous week. Again, I reflect on the previous week, what went well, what didn't go well, why didn't it go well, why didn't it go well. And then I'm putting together a plan and reflecting on each one of my guys, like each one of my people that I go through. I got 18 people in my office. Like, I don't have a shit ton of people. I can go through and talk about each single person. I don't have an office of 60 people or an office of, a 60, organization office, right? And so I can go through right now and go through each person in my crew and reflect on, hey, how was their week? And then what's the one big thing that they need to really focus on this week that I can help them with? And so I go through that on a weekly basis. And then I plan my own big rocks, like, that I want to accomplish for the week. Like, what are some things that I want to do physically, spiritually, emotionally? I'm taking from Sharpen the Saw, from Highly Effective Habits, 7 Highly Effective Habits. So I'm going through that. And all that weekly plan does is it gives me a clear snapshot of what's going on in my business and, like, what I need to accomplish moving forward this week. Like, how can I move the needle this week? And so I'm going to share my screen just to show you guys really quickly. But I've been doing this, like, this weekly game planning. I've been doing this again since I was a rep, like 4 years, every single week, like, very consistently. And so as an owner, I go through here again. I've got my reflection. How was the week? And just kind of going through it. I've got my office LOAs, wire, head count, new start goals, dollar per rep, seconds. Again, positive momentum, negative momentum. I'm going through my whole recruiting situation here, like what's going on with recruiting. What do I got on the horizon? What's going on here with my personal big rocks that I've got. And then again, right here, like I said, I'm going through each one of my guys and, like, I'm reflecting on their week, and then what's the one thing that they need from me this week, or one thing that they really need to focus on that can help them. And so every single week I'm doing this. I got their 4-week average paycheck right here. Are they trending up? Are they trending down on this thing? I'm going through here. I got all the stats for my campaign that I need to see, wireless, how much money made, whatnot. I got my recruiting right here. I got my sales. I got my wire stuff that's going on with my wires the past 4 weeks. So I see what's going on there. And, this just allows me to, again, like I said, a clear snapshot of what's going on in my business. What does it need from me? What does each person need from me? And, like I said, this is consistent. I have every single week of the year in here. And I do it. You see, it says 2022 goals. I have one for 2021. I have one for 2020. Like, every single week I've been doing this. Whether we have a fucking badass week, a shit week, it doesn't matter. I go through and I reflect on what happened. I put a plan in place for moving forward for the next week. And then I schedule that thing out. And this has really helped me move again. It's really helped me move the needle on certain things. Like, if my recruiting's down, I know this is a major focus for me. Like, I need to get this right. I know if, like, the production is down, like, I know I need to run a competition. I need to do something to, like, get the energy back up and get the get that production up. And so really, really helps. Like I live by this and I do it every Sunday. Like Jamie's on my little tag that I send. I got Gary on there. I got my consultant on there. So I'm sending this email and I get feedback from these people and they're, giving me, hey, what happened here? Why did this happen? Yet, whatever it may be. And it just helps me because I got fresh set of eyes that can look at it and nitpick it and figure out, what was working for me, what wasn't working for me and why maybe, right? So that's on a weekly basis that I'm doing that. And then on a daily basis, Jamie, and this is what I'm doing on a daily basis. So every morning I've got my, my owner morning prep sheet. And I'm just going through like every morning. It's paint by numbers. So, here's what I check my Sarah Plus numbers, look at my team sheet, LOAs, my breakouts planned, check the production board, competition. And then again, owner on fire, like most important thing, I make sure, am I on fire? Am I ready to go? And so Alpha starts at 10. So I'm in the office an hour earlier than everybody else, just so that I have that time for myself to get this all prepared and whatnot and get what I'm running. Then my Alpha team comes in and we go through it, whatever I got planned for them. We're setting up the day. I'm talking through the breakouts with them. What does the team need? Who's running what? Going through our campaign. And so I'm doing this on a daily. And what this has done really for me is it's allowed my guys to realize like, hey, running the office and doing what I do is not that difficult. You just need to run the play. You run the play, you come in, you grab the sheet of paper, you go through it each and every day. And so, what's cool is that because of that, I've been able to do like a lot of cool things. You said I've been in business for about a year and 8 months, maybe 9 months, 10 months. But I've been able to travel a shit ton, and my office is not skipped a beat, like not a single bit since I've traveled, because I've really systemized that process, like game planning, strategizing for the day. And so my team sees that and they're able to like apply it very easily. And so those are kind of my 1-2s that I would say like 100% work for me. I'm consistently, go focused on these things and strategizing and game planning, and then focus on my culture, my pulse. That's what works for me. That's what's been working for me. It's again, it's not what you do in a day, it's what you do daily that matters. So I'm consistent at this. I'm consistently aggressively like, figuring out how can I show up the way I show up. My team is always like, they ask me like, man, you're never in a bad attitude, you're never in a bad mood, you're never, because I'm like, what are you talking? Of course I'm not. I have to be consistent. I have to show up a certain way for you guys. Like if I'm in a bad attitude, I give you the opportunity for you to be in a bad attitude, or you to have any type of anything other than being having the best energy you can have. I can't show you that. So I'm always on point with my team, and I'm always consistently game planning, and that allows me to be on point. So those are my things that I run through, and figured I'd leave a little bit time for any questions people had, or you had a couple questions, Jamie.
Yeah, Dean, you are either up or getting up, but I never see you down.
Yeah,
I'm up or I'm getting up. So
yeah,
I like that. It's interesting how you have that on your little daily checklist. Owner on fire. So it's a little checkup from the neck up before the crowd shows up that you're there. I've seen Tony Robbins' routine too, behind stage, before he gets out there. But man, this guy fires himself up, and he just knows his energy is contagious, and that's what keeps the crowd alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are consistent with that goal setting process. Yeah, I feel like I've been getting one of those from you every week ever since you were a leader. Just you happen to become an owner, and then soon promoting owner, and this, like, you've never fallen off the wagon, whether you're up or you're down. Can you touch on that? Because I do see some people, they try to get that habit. Okay, I've heard this from enough owners. Let me do this weekly planning and let me tag a couple people on there, Gary, a few people, yada yada, and then they'll fall off. Just whether like, what do you say to the guy that falls off or maybe just isn't doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like I think the reason people fall off is because they're not getting the results they want right away. They think it's going to happen overnight, you know? I just know that like if you go at something for long enough and for hard enough, eventually the tide is going to turn, and you're going to get the result that you want. And so for me, again, like you said, it's regardless of whether or not we crushed it or we didn't crush it. I need to do that game plan because I need to stay consistent in my habits, in my routines. That consistency helps me be consistent as a person, like helps me have consistent energy. And so like like this morning, I did not feel like going to the gym and doing my freaking routine, but I knew like that consistency again just puts me in a certain mood and a certain attitude. Like doing my weekly, if I don't do my weekly game plan, I'm like feeling like, oh shit, like I'm feeling out of whack, Like I'll be on vacation and I'll literally grab it and I'll do my game plan real quick. I might not even be in the office, but I'm doing the game plan just to have it be done and know that okay, I've got some focus that I'm trying to message to my team. And so I know that odds are, Jamie, that most people won't do it consistently enough. And so I know if I do it consistently enough, it's going to set me apart. And that's how I'm going to get the results I'm going to get, And the reason I do it, I keep doing it is because like I know there's more that I can accomplish. There's more that I can do. Like, yeah, sure. Averaging 20K wires is cool. That's awesome. But like when you see people doing 50K every week or 60, you're like, dude, I'm not even close to what I can do. And so I have to keep fine tuning. I have to keep figuring out what can I improve, what can I work on. And so that's why I do it week in and week out, no matter what,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Any questions from the crowd here for the Bachelor Dean Habeeb?
Have some drinks for me in R&R. No questions. I won't go
Hey,
because I'm
Dean.
getting married the next week. So what's up, Juanice?
What's your routine or rhythm around coaching your guys?
So I coach the guys consistently off their numbers. Like I said, I go through and I'm looking at that's what helps me is like, again, looking at the weekly game plan, looking at what each person did. Okay, reflecting on that on the week. And then, okay, what's my one big thing that I'm focused on with them this week? Like I'm picking one because I'm sure there's a shit ton of things that I can work on with them. But like, let me just focus on one this week that I'm really hammering home. And driving that point home to them all week long. Like whether it's a quick, 2 minutes in the office, I'm talking to them about it, or whether it's like we have a scheduled one-on-one where we're talking about it. It's just I'm focused on that one big thing all week long. And then every Thursday, this kind of wraps around like standards and whatnot. So every Thursday when payroll comes out, like I print off their pay report and I have that payroll conversation with each one of them and talk to them about like, hey, here's what you reported. Here's what you actually got paid on. Here's where you're trending over your 4 weeks. So I'm talking to them constantly about their numbers, about their performance. And that kind of drives home the standards point to them. But I would say it's just taking that on Sunday, looking at how the previous week went, what do they need to work on this week? Or what's the one thing I can help them with? And then I'm just driving that home all week long, right? And then I'll send them a text like, hey, we're going to have a one-on-one on Tuesday or whatever it may be. If it's one of my top guys, it's urgent and whatnot. So that's kind of the system around it.
Awesome. Love it.
Yes, sir.
Hey Dean, can I steal the Excel sheet? I have one, but yours look better. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Here's the
just-
thing. I could definitely send it to you, Kevin, for sure. A lot of people always tell me that, like, wow, yours looks so nice and colorful. And it's just because again, when I started, mine looked shitty, but I kept staying at it, staying super consistent. And then eventually it looks all awesome and pretty because now I know what I'm doing. Now I know what I'm looking for and what I need to accomplish for sure. But yeah,
I'll take what I can. I'll
definitely send it
edit
over.
it.
Absolutely. For sure. I'll send it to Jamie. Jamie could send it out.
Yeah, sure. I can forward it to everybody. Is there anything on there private you don't want shared for me to?
I mean, I can send you a blank one if you want me to.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe send a blank one. Take the names out, protect the innocent. Where was I going with that? I mean, it's great that you get the right information in front of your eyes so you can make good decisions, right? So to walk into weekly game planning and not really, there's a lack of awareness maybe with some numbers. Well, maybe you're doing the wrong thing, but when you've got all that information, again, you're choosing the data. Did anybody advise you like, well, Dean, you should be looking under the hood at this particular stat, or did you just through trial and error figure out this is the information that I want to see when I do my weekly game planning?
It was definitely some trial and error, and then also hearing from people, like hearing from top owners, what are they looking at? Like, hey, what are you looking at on a weekly basis? What numbers do you care about? And so that's pretty much what it was. It's just one, knowledge of knowing what to look at, right? Like, I know what needs to be looked at, what are the key metrics, and then hearing like somebody's looking at this, and I'm like, oh, I've never looked at that. Why are you looking at that? And then I'll pick it up and start, using it consistently.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Dean, yeah, so send me over a blank one. That'd be great, and I'll forward it off to everybody. But
Cool.
we wish you the best in Mexico on your special day, Dean. I'm excited to be a part of that with you, and thanks for being a great leader and a great example here for everybody.
Sure. Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, man. This was cool. I loved it. So hopefully you guys got something from it.
All right, see you guys in Mexico.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dean.